So, hello. I've had some questions about what type of software. You can hear a helicopter up above. That's really annoying. There have been some questions about what software I use and what camera I use and what lens and all that stuff. So I'm going to cover that in this video. And this is really loud in my ears, so I'm going to take these off and hopefully this isn't too distracting, and hopefully it won't be too loud when I get close to the microphone. Hopefully it won't be too loud for you, so I'm going to edit this part. Well, actually I'm just going to, I don't want to damage my headphones, so I'm going to take this out. So basically the intake volume for my microphone is at 90. Okay, let's back up. So for those of you with the questions, the camera I use is a Nikon D90. And let me just pull a picture of that up for you. So it's a Nikon D90. I don't know when these came out, but they are not the best. It's called a DSLR camera. I used to know what that stands for. I don't now. I could look it up. I don't really care, to be honest. The reason that I don't recommend this camera is because it's old. And it can only record in HD for 5 minutes at a time. So it's really not a good camera. It's really old technology. It's good in terms of the image, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually purchase it for ASMR videos. I purchased it for a different purpose, to help with music videos, and which I still use for that. But for ASMR, it's not the best. What I do is I change the setting on my camera to record at, instead of 720p, it records at 624 by 680 by 424, something like that. And when it's at that setting, it can actually record for 20 minutes at a time. So it's good. It's good quality because it records at 24 frames per second, which is the look that I was looking for in terms of music videos. Because 24 frames per second is sort of a cinematic look. It has this really artistic feel to it, and that's why I use this particular camera. So the lens, I believe, is a 1.8 lens. You can get all different kinds of lenses. I think the Nikon lenses, you can change them out. If you have a Nikon camera, you can use any Nikon lens with any Nikon camera, I believe is how it works. It comes with a 1.8 aperture lens, which I don't use that one for my videos. I use, what do I use? I use, maybe it's a 1.4. It's called a Nikon Nikkor, Nikkor, 50mm 1.4. I think that's what's on there right now. No. No. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not looking at you, but I'm looking at the lens, and it says 50 millimeter 1 to 1.8D depth. I don't know what that is. The lens that it comes with is this. This thing here. And this one is let's see, this one is it doesn't say on there. Or maybe I just don't know where to look. Okay, so yeah, this one is a AFS Nikkor 18 to 105 millimeter, 18-105 millimeter. This one is okay, but it's not good for it's not really good for like the depth. Like if you're gonna focus in on something, it's not really that good. It zooms in, which is nice, but it doesn't have the same look as this other lens, which I'm using right now. Anyway, this one comes with the camera if you purchase it from like Amazon or something like that. Sorry about my chair, it's really annoying. Okay, so that's the lens I use, and I use the 680 by 424 movie setting, and that way I can record 20 minutes at a time. So that's why my videos tend to be a little on the short side, so I apologize. Sometimes I use this thing, which is just an Apple iPod Touch. It was a gift to me from a family, and it's really old now. It's like 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. So this thing's okay. It records at 30 or 29 frames per second, but the image quality is not that great. It says it's HD, but I really don't think it's that much HD. And I'm no expert, trust me. I'm more of a plug and play kind of person because I like to focus on the creativity of stuff rather than the technical details. So to be honest, I don't even know if I'm rendering my videos correctly when I do it. Like I said, I tend to focus more on the creative side. I try to focus on content and quality, and if it's not perfect, I don't really know how to get it perfect, but I do my best and I try to learn. So, okay, moving on, let's go to the software that I use. I think, microphone. For those of you who also do ASMR videos, you know that I have used a couple of different microphones. One of them is a Zoom H1. Is that right? Zoom H1. They're about $100. If you get them new, I think they're like 120, but don't get a used one, get a new one. So it's like 100, 120. These are good. I like them. What can I say about them? And then the other microphone that I use is called a Blue Snowball. It's a USB microphone, and that one's okay. It just, you have to plug it in to use it, and I don't like that. This one, the Zoom H1, takes batteries, so that's what's nice about it. All right, so the software I use is called Sony Vegas Movie. Sony Vegas Movie Studio Pro 11. I use version 11. And yeah, I purchased it. It was about $40, I think, at the time. Movie Studio HD Pro, I think is what it's called. It's not Sony Vegas. There's a Sony Vegas suite, editing suite, and that's like, I don't know what it runs brands right now, $300 to $400 last I checked. Movie Studio Pro, I think they're up to version 14. And as I'm looking it up right now, it shows $50. So I really like that because it's very easy to use if you have ever edited any kind of video. If you've used Windows Movie Maker, it's garbage. This is really good. You can have multiple video tracks, multiple audio tracks. You can bounce things to MP3s. You can bounce them to various video formats. It does have some limitations, so it's not perfect, but it's good. So with that, I'll show you how I actually edit my videos. So I'm going to switch this camera around a little bit so you can see my screen. Okay, so there's a lot of noise in this video that I had to edit out. But we're back on track. So you can see my screen. I've got the Sony Vegas Movie Studio here up on Google Ads, showing for about $50. Okay, so I am going to show you my program. Okay. Alright, so now these little ads that pop up is, oh, see, they're giving me a deal. $39.99, but I wonder if that's, yeah, $39, $40. Not bad. I might get it, but actually I'm happy with 11. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, what I do, there's this guy on YouTube, he's called Movie Studio Zen, and if you notice from my earlier videos, I had this introduction that was sort of, it had like a, what do you call that? A solar flare or sun flare or something like that. Well, I learned that from watching these tutorials. This guy, Movie Studio Zen guy, and I don't know if that's still his handle or his name, whatever you call it. So if we go here, let's see, Movie Studio Zen on YouTube. Yeah, looks like he's still there. This guy's good. He's got a lot of really good tutorials on how to do things with this program, but even without him, this program is very easy to use. So let me see if I can pull up a project. I think I deleted them all. Damn it. Okay, let's go with this one. I basically delete my videos after I'm done. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to come up. Anyway, this is a piano video that I did for my music channel, which, if you're curious, you can go check it out. It's Ichabod Todd. That's what I publish under. And I do a lot of piano solos, and I do a lot of experimenting with my voice and songwriting. So here, I believe the specific questions that people have been asking have been about how I get this blue look, because my videos look blue, which I didn't realize. But basically it's a preset, not a preset. What do you call that? Is it a preset? Okay, so if you look here, these are the different tracks. And as you'll notice right here, I've got this text track, has the title, of my film, which you can move around the screen over here. And then what you do is over here, there's this little button that says Track FX. So you click on that, and I don't know how well you can see this, so I apologize. I don't have any screen capturing software. I just don't care enough about it, and if that bugs people, well, too bad. So up here, there are, and again, I learned this from Movie Studio Zen, there is a color corrector, and I think his tutorials are actually in version, either a later version or an earlier version, so I didn't get this perfect, but if you add this thing called the color corrector, click on this thing and you select something called the Sony color corrector. Color corrector, where is it? Color corrector, right here. Color corrector. Add it. It's right here. Okay. So what I've done is on this low, and again, I don't even know what this means. I just followed his instructions and then I saved it as a preset. So you load this color corrector, and then for this thing that says low, I put it right here, just above the 0, sort of in the middle. And if you move it around, you can see the image changing over here. So on the lows, what I did was I put it here. It's, and I apologize that I don't know what this stuff means. You guys are going to laugh. And that's fine. Then on the mid, I take this little circle and I put it right here. This says 270 and that says 0 degrees, and it's like right here, right there. Okay, and then over here on the highs, I got it right here, right above the 180, the line. And then saturation is at 1, the gamma is at 1. I think all those are default. The gain is at 1, offset is at 0. The angle I have at 11.3, magnitude is 0.316, and maybe that's what I did. Yeah, because I think if you adjust these manually, do a 10, does it move? I guess it doesn't. It does. Oh, let me do Control Z. It doesn't do Control Z if you move these around. So anyway, you can enter the numbers in here manually, and it'll change the position of the cursor on this chroma scale. And so I think that's what I did, was based on his instructions. I entered these numbers in, and then it moved this little dot around for me. And then what I did is I clicked on the save button up here and saved it as a preset, and I called it Movie Look because that's specifically what his tutorial was on. So you might want to check out his tutorials if you're interested in getting that kind of blue shaded look. So if I just add the color corrector, see if you see, if you unclick that, then the preset is not applied. Then if you click it, it applies it. So I kind of messed it up. I don't know, again, how well you can see the picture, but what I can do is I just go here and see I've got it there, Movie Look, and it just reset to the defaults. So then I've got this light rays also. So if you click here for effects, and it's called Sony Light Rays. And for light rays, it's a little bit different. Again, I had to follow his instructions the best that I could because they weren't perfect for this version of Sony Vegas, and so I just entered in the sensitivity and the strength are default. X and Y have 0.5, and then the radius I think is 1, radius X is 1, radius Y is 1, and then the feather I think is what you guys are seeing in my videos. If you look at the feather, if I adjust it, crap, it's really subtle, but it's like 0.68, I think I had it at 0.68 or something, I don't know. But basically what that does is it makes the middle brighter, and then the outskirts a little bit darker. So blend, what does the blend do? I think the blend is what I adjusted. I don't remember. And then again, I saved that as a preset, and I called it Movie Look Light Rays. So if I go down here and reload it, You'll notice the feather is at 0.663, the blend is at 0.812, and the noise is 0. Now he's got another preset that he used that I stopped using after a while. And I think, no, I'm getting mixed up. I think it made the circle more pronounced, but I think that's with the blend here. I don't know. Anyway, so hopefully you guys get the picture. For those of you who had this particular question, one thing I like to do, okay, so I don't know if you can see this part of my screen that has the audio tracks down here. But you see there's an audio track here that says voice, and there's an audio track that says music. So the camera is going to have audio from it, which is usually mono, and it's garbage. If you have a camera that records in stereo, then that's great. But what I do is I load my video file, and then I cut it into pieces, as you can see here. And then what I do is I reduce the volume. Again, this is very easy to use. You just click here and you pull it down, and the volume goes to 0. Or over here on the left, if you hold down Control and click the mute button, it will mute the entire track. And then, yeah, so I hope I'm not speaking too loudly, but this video is a piano solo. And you know, for your ASMR videos, using this program is going to be very, very easy. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to go into Mixcraft and load my audio file from my microphone into Mixcraft and apply what's called a compressor to it, a software compressor. And what that does is it brings the low volume louder, and then it makes the loud parts smaller, so it kind of equalizes everything, and it brings everything to the forefront. And what you can do, Mixcraft again is another easy to use program for audio editing. And to do that, you would there's a free version, I think, or maybe a free trial version that you can get of this, and then there's a really cheap $40 version that you can get as well. So what I like to do is I like to go into Mixcraft and I import my audio file into here, and then it's really literally just click and drag, and then you click here, FX, and what I would do is I would go to the effects chain here and select either Acoustica compressor or classic compressor down here. And then what you do once you've loaded that, it doesn't really matter what preset you use. I don't really get into that too much. Once you do that, you click this mix down. Excuse me, and then you would want to mix this down to a WAV file with the compression applied to it. And you just save it as a WAV file, and then you re-import that audio into your project here. I know at this point you're probably thinking it's complicated, but it's really not once you learn how to use it. And if you're curious, I can do a step-by-step for those of you who want it. Just let me know. So, this is one of my latest piano solos that I did. You can see my carpal tunnel braces. It's pathetic. But hey, don't judge. Okay. So, yeah, when you're done editing in Vegas, what you do is you click on this button that says Make Movie, and you just click on Save it to my hard drive, or you can upload it to YouTube if you trust Sony Vegas with your password, which I don't trust anybody with my password. I save it to my hard drive, you can pick from all the various different settings that they have on there. I won't get into that because, again, like I said, I don't know very well how to, I don't really know much about how to, like the frame rates and the bit rates and all that stuff there. I know there's a lot of people that are really good at that, but I just don't care enough. You know, I try to find something that works and then I use it. So, yeah, I know. Anyway, so if anybody has any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer them to the best